Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Today we're going down under. And what I mean by down under, we're going to Australia. We're going to talk to a young lady who is not only an up-and-coming musician, artist, actress, and film producer. She's going to take us down her journey. And on this show, it's about empowerment, education, and universal harmony. And that's what we're bringing today to this show. Her name is very unique, and we're going to start out with her explaining this unique name. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Andre The Beast Crayton Show, the one, the only, the next superstar, Quinn, to the show. What's up, Quinn?
Hi, thank you. It's lovely to be here.
I like the accent already.
Likewise, I love the American accent.
Quinn, your resume is, wow, it's a novel. Let's be real. You've accomplished so much that I'm literally surprised that people don't recognize who you are. Explain to the viewers exactly who Quinn is right now.
Well, I am a self-described metamorph. I like that word because I feel it describes me most holistically. I get to merge in and out of different roles within my acting and in music and even in the filmmaking process and explore all different parts of myself. And each time I discover something new.
Man, that is, I like what you're saying. I never even heard the word almost metamorphosize. It's like crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
And Quinn means wisdom. So that's to me a representation of some of the wisdom that I've accrued through some challenging life experiences over the years. And I seek, obviously, to put some of that into my work and hopefully be inspiring to other people when and how I can be through my own learning. You
shared with me during the pre-interview the journey of the name Quinn. So let's go back a little bit. Your career really started in the nursing field. Tell me a little bit about that and what impact did that have on you moving out of that, or should we say metamorphosizing out of that nursing career into all these other different genres that you've accomplished?
Certainly. I started nursing really young, and part of that was due to living in a really tiny town where opportunities for filmmakers and musicians were pretty scarce. So nursing was obviously the go-to. And I did that for a while, but each time on shift at the end of the day, I would often stay back and play music for my patients or even some of the visitors and things. And I'd always wanted to get into acting, but just didn't have the opportunity growing up. I've been a musician my whole life, and I've been pretty lucky with some amazing opportunities with that. I'm a classically trained opera singer. And so I've had some opportunities through that have been phenomenal, and I'm very grateful for them indeed. But the acting is just something that I just didn't get to do early. So it was actually through a rather serendipitous meeting at a radio interview once where I met a producer who was sharing with me her life story about some crazy things that she's been through. She invited me to her book launch, and the following week she offered me a lead role in her film playing her younger self, which was a phenomenal opportunity and a humbling one indeed. And we had an incredible team of filmmakers on board for this, some very well-known names in the film industry. So I learnt a lot very quickly. And since then have just kept picking up other roles and opportunities, and I just feel forever grateful for every bit of it.
Quinn, what was the name of the film that you starred in, and who was the actress that you played?
So the film's called Say My Name, and I played the character Mel, and I actually she was 15 years old at that time in her life. And which is a challenge when you're 33, because you move your body differently when you're 15. And so that was a challenge. But I was playing her younger self after she'd been cast out of home and actually was living on the streets of Sydney. So I was playing a homeless kid, basically. And we filmed in King's Cross, which is a part of Sydney that's quite renowned for having quite a history with gangs and drugs and violence. And so we filmed there. There's a shot of me pulling some fries out of a bin, and I was sleeping in drains and running around getting chased by police. So it was a bit of a full-on first go, and I would say a bit of method acting involved. But yeah, a profound experience, and I just feel lucky and grateful to have also been part of something that meant something to me from a humanitarian perspective too. Homelessness is a big problem, and I've been to LA and seen some of the homelessness there. And so I think a film like this is important, not only from an artistic perspective, but also from a social one. So
Queen, when
that was a nice bridge for me.
Queen, when you was doing, didn't mean to cut you off, when you was doing this film, this was your first film.
Yeah.
This actress had been around for quite some time, so she must have saw something in you. And when she gave you this opportunity to play her at a younger age, how much research did you do on her to actually make the part authentic? Because you're also talking about an age difference. You got to go back and portray a person that's quite younger. So how much of this did you put in? How much research did you put into becoming her?
So we actually went away for a short trip in the south coast of Sydney, and she gave me her book to read, and basically I just immersed myself in her book. And I also was composer for the film, coming from more of a musical background. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a piece for every chapter of the book, and then I showed that to her, and that was my way of communicating the feelings through song and sound. And she loved it, and it moved her to tears. And I think it just confirmed that I was the right person for the role, because obviously I was in the same wavelength. I think the universe or God prepared me for that role a bit as well. Right. And I did do reading and research as to how to get into character, but a lot of it was pretty much learning it on the job. As I said, I was lucky to be surrounded by a really good team of filmmakers. I had Zachary Peel McGregor, who was our director of photography, who's phenomenal, and he was brilliant with me, even counting me into some of the scenes rhythmically, which for me as a musician is totally my language. Mm-hmm. And it's done quite well with reviews, and it's still doing the rounds actually in some of the international film festivals. Mm-hmm. But to date, it's won 55 international awards, which is amazing. Right. And I've managed to pull off a couple of Best Actress awards. So that's certainly quite exciting, and quite exciting for her as a producer and writer to get her story out there too.
Did you always, this is a two-part question. The first part of the question is, did you always have the intuition that you wanted to pursue this career? And if you know, and about what age? And then the second part of this question is, how difficult was it for you to leave a field of the medical industry, you know, where you're helping people, you know, because you got to have just as much passion to deal with illnesses. And then all of a sudden you do a complete transformation. How hard was that for you?
Okay, it was a challenge, and I actually spent some time away from a lot of things that I was involved in, and just absorbed myself in psychology podcasts, because I wanted to do a big switch and I didn't know how. Mm-hmm. And that was, I found some amazing resources online to just help with my mindset. For me, it was actually building the confidence to get myself out there. And because when you are an actor, like, it's a naked exposing experience. There's no hiding, you're it. And so I had to really build up the confidence first. So for me, it was just working on my mindset and doing lots of meditation.
What was the parts that you had to be authentic with, that you was having problems with coming out with the public? Because you're right, you got to be yourself, because eventually if you don't, they're gonna expose you regardless. So what was parts of your life that was difficult for you to become transparent with outside of the shyness?
I think just that imposter syndrome of, I didn't grow up in this, so can I even do something like this? Who am I to think that I could step out and do this? There's giants in the acting world. Who would I be to stand up against them and, perform realistically and authentically? And I think an important thing as an actor, especially I've really confirmed this going along further with other opportunities, you have to know thyself first before you can deliver any authentic performance of anyone else's story. So I think that's what I felt intuition-wise to hone in on first and get to the truth of myself and heal some layers within me before I could step out. And it was a little while later that this opportunity came up. So I think it was all divinely timed, really. So
how did your music industry combine with your acting career? Because you shared with me, I guess I could say it, when you was in the medical field, there were times where you had breaks and you was doing both the music and the acting. Did one kind of overpower the other, or how did you manage to try to incorporate both of them into your acting and your musical career?
I think for me, I find both the acting and music just as important. They express a different part of myself that the other doesn't express. And so it's kind of this nice holistic package when I have them together. And in some of my films thus far that I've worked on and am working on, I seem to keep finding myself in the music composition side of it and acting or something. And that works really well for me. Coming out of nursing was tricky in some ways because you are dealing in a different headspace. But as I said to you in the pre-interview, I was offered a unique insight into the human experience, and one that you don't often get. You don't get to see people at their most vulnerable in everyday life. And as a nurse, you're offered that privilege. So to carry some of that insight, already being more artistically inclined, and kind of merge it together and then cast it into film is kind of a powerful foundation, actually. And I see nursing as a good gift. In a way, it was my acting school, perhaps.
What was it like for you? We talked about different regions, and eventually you said you want to come abroad to the United States to further your career, but you seem to have so much success there. So with so much success there, have there ever been moments that your success has been derailed at points? You know what I mean? So sometimes you can be too successful, like we see in the United States with certain celebrities, that they become so powerful that the slightest thing can derail them, and then their careers go berserk. But have you had any of that experience in Australia?
Not particularly. I think I did have an experience around COVID where I was offered an opportunity internationally in California to do a singing tour, and something came, that was COVID, that sort of messed that opportunity up. But as for Australia, not so much. I just take what comes. I'm also an opportunist, so I make the most of opportunity when it comes to. And if no opportunity is coming my way, I make my own. I'm also quite a visionary like that. And I guess that initiative for me helps find or sparks something in someone else. And next thing you know, I'm in a project somewhere. So, yeah, I think I've been lucky like that.
What's the difference between Australia acting and movies versus United States, as far as your opinion?
There's pros and cons to both, and I love Australia dearly. It's a beautiful landscape. If you're not from Australia and never been, I certainly recommend a visit. Sydney's beaches are probably some of the best in the world, right, minus some of the sharks, but. And some of the jellyfish. Yeah. However, I think film-wise, we still have a little bit of evolution to go here in Australia. We haven't quite stepped on the podium as confidently yet as America and even some of our European counterparts. We sort of still see ourselves as a little sibling to the rest of the world. And sometimes we struggle to celebrate our own success. Whereas in the States, something that I've noticed in being over there and with my counterparts over there, there's a lot more celebration of being big and bold and brassy, and it's not really the Australian culture. Not always a bad thing, but I think somewhere in the middle would be nice. So, yeah.
When you say that, the different way that movie is being received overseas, in America versus Australia, what do you think you would get coming over here as far as your career? Because your career is actually good internationally, so to speak. Why try to make a transition over to uncharted waters, pretty much?
I think because I'm a bit of a wilderness explorer, and I like that exploration process. Mm-hmm. And I love new connections and people and feeling like there's just an abundance of opportunity. As I said, I make it wherever I am, so I'll find it no matter what. But I've got connections in LA and would love to go and work with them again. And yeah, I think it's just an interesting landscape over there. It could be good for artistic inspiration.
What other movies and stuff have you participated in outside the first one? And did that first one lead to other major roles for you? I'm pretty sure it did. If you got all these accolades for Best Actress, I mean, what are some of the other movies that you participated in, and which one really do you look back on and say, wow, I really honed my craft in?
Well, there's a couple in formulation now, so there's still some evolution happening. I think for me, Say My Name's going to always take that special place for me because it was my entry point into acting, and it was a lead role, and it just was such a profound story that I think that I was very lucky with that. But it's led on to some other films now. I've just finished another film, Toby, which was great fun. A completely different storyline. That's about to do the rounds in international festivals, and there's already another one in the works from that, and then another feature length later this year that's being formulated. So,
what was Toby? What was that about?
It was about a haunted ventriloquist doll. It's a bit of a crazy little dark comedy, but I was invited to that. So very different to the other one, but good fun.
How hard is it for you to change roles, and how hard is it for you to change roles now that you're in it? And if you had to name yourself as a particular type of actress, who would you compare yourself to?
Oh, that's a big question.
I know.
Well, I do love complex characters. I love characters that have layers, and whether they're dark and devious or big and bold, or the regal queen or the badass gangster. I would like to explore some more of that. I love period dramas and old world themes. So for me, I'd like to pick some more of those up in future. But yeah, it'd be fun to play a few more badass characters and bring that part of myself out on screen, because it's there.
Who's your favorite badass female character?
I think Cate Blanchett does pretty well in some of her badass characters.
I love her.
Yeah.
What do you like about her?
She's got layers, and she knows what she's about, but she's also not pretentious. She just does it. She's just herself. And it's really inspiring to watch on screen, and even in her interviews. So she's a bit of an icon. I'm also enjoying watching Margot Robbie's journey of success too.
Really?
What
do you like about her, just out of curiosity? I've been following her too. What do you like about her?
I love the fact that even though she's drop dead gorgeous and way more symmetrical than me, she makes a real effort and acknowledges this, that she likes roles that have more to them than just the aesthetic value. Mm-hmm. And I really like that part of her. And with her film Barbie with Greta Gerwig, I just think it just showed another side of her there. Even though she was playing the stereotypical Barbie, there was so much more to it that I just think was genius. and congrats to them for their success with that.
How hard is it for you as a female from Australia to make it in this industry, either in Australia or in the United States? How difficult is it for you as an actress?
I think I'm still navigating that, to be honest. It's certainly competitive, and I think there's still a long way to go for women in film, but that's part of my contribution, I feel, and passion in moving forward, is certainly offering, and not only just taking from the industry, but also giving back into it through my work and more opportunities. So because I think I'm more of a visionary like that, I seek to cultivate those opportunities so other women can have a go too. So yeah, there's work to be done, but we're getting there.
What do you like? What do you like? What do you like most? Which one do you like better? You know, being featured in a movie, being part of a movie, or actually producing a movie, and why?
I think there's fun aspects to all of the hats that I wear. I think probably my most favorite would be acting. I love getting in character and being on set. Okay. There's something magical about just being there with the cast and the crew and just telling a story. That's I think nothing trumps that. And I would even say that over music. Really? Even considering my history with music, yeah, I think I found that acting's probably slightly above the music for me. However, it is fun being part of the producing side of things and pulling people together for a common goal. That's fun. Yeah. And I've done a little bit of directing, but I would like to explore that in future too. I like to put the boss lady cap on a little bit. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I think there's lots of things to take and give for each part. So, yeah.
What's next?
I think.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think these days it's good to be a little bit multifaceted in the film industry. I think the more areas that you can offer something in, the more chances you have to make it, or at least have a fun time anyway.
What do you think? What do you think you need to do? You're still young. You're new to the game, but you're rising like cream on coffee. You know, but what do you think you need to do to really home in on your craft, to be that international name that everybody will know?
I just think keep saying yes to the right opportunities and giving as much as I can with each one. I think, as I discussed with you earlier, being a little bit geographically disadvantaged makes that difficult, because I sort of, there's just some things I can't say yes to. Right. But I think when the time's right, it will be what it is, and it will work out the way it needs to. I have full faith in that. Have there been moments of your life where you had to say no and then later look back on it and go, wow, I wish now, hindsight 2020, I should have said yes to that? Probably no. If anything, I've probably had things that I've said yes to that I should have said no to. I'm a sucker for punishment. So, what was one of those rare moments that you did that did happen? I'm not sure if I want to put that on screen. Was it that bad? Kinda, yeah. Oh, look, man. I learned from it anyway, and I'm moving on. So, what would you tell someone? What would you tell someone that wanted to get into this industry? Because it's not easy by any means. What would you tell them to do? What would be like 3 pointers if they wanted to pursue acting or music? Firstly, I would say make sure you know yourself first, and make sure that it is really authentic for you first. And then I would say start networking. I believe in meditation, and I believe energy matters. And so if your energy's right, you will be attracting the right things. And that can take time to cultivate, but I think that's really important, rather than just I think just putting it out there for every little thing, as I said, I'm sort of learning from that. That's not always the best way. It's just aligning with the right things and letting it also come to you as well. And yeah, just have fun with the process and try not to take yourself too seriously.
Your family, we didn't talk about that. How supportive is your family? Because they have to be like going crazy with the success that you have, and the fact that you gambled on yourself. You put it out there in the universe, and you actually manifested to come to life. How does your family feel about all this positive energy around you?
So again, it's not one of those things that a lot of families jump at and think, yes, go into acting, that's a great idea. So of course, years ago, that wasn't encouraged, but now
Yeah.
it's been this complete turnaround. And I think having had the film Say My Name as my entry point, and there were so many signs and synchronicities from the universe that was meant for me. My family have just been, I think, amazed and blown away and surprisingly supportive. And I'm grateful. And I think we all can see that some of my past career experiences, including the nursing, have actually paved or at least provided a bit of a good foundation to switch over into acting. Already being artistically inclined anyway. I think if you weren't artistically inclined, it would be a big switch. But for someone like me who's a bit fruity, it just, yeah, it worked somehow.
So how can the viewers, Quinn, reach out to you and contact you? And what are some of the movies that you are currently working on that we should be looking forward to watching?
Okay. Well, if you want to get in touch with me, I am on social media under Quinn Alice. And my website, I have a website, it's www.thequinn.art. And so, I love reaching out, or having people reach out to me and making new contacts. So, get in touch. What was the other question, Andre?
I was asking you, tell me about these new movies that are coming out, and how can the viewers actually watch it, and when are they planned to be released? I know that's a lot of information, but I want to make sure that they watch you and support you and make sure you get one of those other awards.
Thank you. Well, so they're all actually still doing the rounds in international festivals. So Say My Name's been quite a long process for that. But it will be released, I think, later this year. So if you follow me on social media, you will be able to find more information. Say My Name also has its own Instagram page as well, which is curated by our incredible director and writer, Royce Nova. She, is doing a great job displaying some of the work from the film and some of our awards. Toby was also doing the rounds in film festivals, starting with the Sydney Film Festival soon. And there's another couple in formulation, which you'll have to keep your eyes peeled on my social media. I can't say too much yet because they're in early formulation and pre-production stage. So
I like it. You know what?
Yeah.
Quinn, you have a beautiful story. I wish you unlimited success, which I know you're going to have. Hopefully when you come to the station, you'll reach out, let me know you're in town, and stop in live and give us a live interview. Keep us posted on your movie when it's going to be released. We'd love to have you back and share with us what it was like to make that movie. But before we wrap up, leave the viewers with that beast mindset and that universal harmony that you bring to the stage, that you bring to Australia, that you bring into the world right now.
Sorry, just repeat that last bit, Andre.
I said, leave the viewers with something positive that you live with every single day.
Just be grateful for whatever you can find gratitude for. For me, that changed my life. Some days it's really hard to find things to be grateful for, but for me, even if it's just being grateful for yourself and starting with something simple like that, that's what helped me build the confidence to actually get into acting and film. And, just find the joy in some of those moments in life. And when it gets dark and tough, just, find the joy within you somehow. And it's amazing how it keeps finding you in remarkable ways. So that would be my little thing is, just just embrace the gratitude of life, and life will keep helping you win. That's what I found anyway for me. So
sounds like a winner. Quinn, thank you once again for coming onto the show. I know there's a big time difference between here and Australia. You go get some rest and keep doing wonderful things. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton Show.